Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. How you doing, baby?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Very good. I'm excited because we've got Tuesdays with Charlie coming your way, so that's always a lot of fun. And we also have a lot of other fun stuff we're going to learn about today, like this. A study has found that fish in Washington's Spokane River have an extremely high concentration of toxic flame retardants. So they're flame-proof fish. Imagine if you catch a fish there and you try to cook it, and you're like, I just can't.
That would suck.
I just can't get this fish to cook. That is so weird to me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and some restaurants in Britain are forcing customers who like their meat rare to sign a disclaimer before eating it because they're really afraid of E. coli and salmonella poisoning. So if you came in and ordered
But do you have that much of a problem with beef? I mean,
I don't know.
steaks.
A
a rare hamburger, I could see that's dangerous. But steaks, I've eaten steaks rare my whole life.
I just don't know. There's something going on.
And I am the perfect picture of health.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Unhealthy.
I don't know why they're so worried.
Anyway, that's in Britain right now. Who knows what's going on? Coming up, some special stuff today. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, there's only two things on my list for today. Only one on this list, and then I have my backup list that I go to when there's hardly anything. So on this one, it's One Voice Day today. So we're doubled up on that because there's two of us. So
Okay.
2 One Voices. The 26th of July is also All or Nothing Day.
All right.
I don't know what that means.
That's about it, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to celebrate today. We're going to do all or nothing. I'm probably going to do nothing. And I'm going to do it with one voice. I do know that. Coming up here in a bit, we've got our Heard It on the Radio and a very sad state of where our country is right now. That is on the way.
I guess that depends on which way you're looking at it.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about? Are you talking about the DNC implosion?
No, I'm not talking about that. And I'm not talking about politics at all.
I'm talking about that.
No.
That's
we're not
giddy exciting for me. I'm making popcorn.
I understand. Yeah, she's been like waving flags around and dancing. We're not going on here. We're not going to talk politics. But I do have an interesting story about, we'll get to it. It's on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Here's a sad statement about America. Virtually every town along a 20-mile stretch of beach, a Long Island area in the New Jersey shore, has a warning for beach lovers about the dangers of riptides. However, Long Beach Township itself has no warnings. You know why?
Why?
Says, even though experts say most summer visitors are ignorant about the powerful currents and how to cope with them, Township Attorney Richard Shackleton explained posting such helpful warnings could actually hurt local taxpayers. And it's not because of what you think. It's not like, remember Jaws, where they didn't want to, I don't want to say anything about the sharks.
Right.
People won't come out. No, it's nothing to do with that. Legally speaking, a town generally is under no obligation to warn swimmers of natural conditions. Mr. Shackleton, again, he's an attorney, explains that once the town attempts to warn people, judges and juries often find these warnings inadequate, and then they award a swimmer's survivor.
I could see that because everybody is suing for
damages.
everything now.
So they're saying we can't warn you and keep you safe because if we do, we're going to get sued.
Yeah.
And it's just really sad. That's
disturbing.
That is what I was talking about, the sad state about where we are as a country.
I will say there needs to be better warnings because I almost drowned.
Oh, yeah. We were in Mexico. And now, did you try to sue anybody, Heidi?
No. Oh, heavens, no. I don't know.
No. Now, here's what she did. We went into the water, and they were talking about the riptide. I don't know if that's what this was, but it was just an undertow, I think is what it's called. And the water would come in, and it has to go back out. And when it goes back out, it pulls out pretty hard. So it was pulling Heidi's legs out from under her. And she was trying to stand up, and it kept knocking her down.
And by the time I got my feet about me, there was another wave on top of me again.
Knock you over, and then it'd pull you back, and it'd knock you over.
It was very scary.
And I was out a little further than Heidi. I'm splashing around.
He's just waving at me.
I'm like, this is so fun. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's freaking out. And then a lifeguard came and dragged her to safety.
Yeah, he saved me.
And I was like, what was that all about? She's like, why didn't you help me? I was like, I thought you were having fun like me. I was just riding the waves and splashing around like a big kid. And I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were dying over there.
Yeah, it was.
I might have helped or something.
It was pretty scary.
All right. Anyway,
but
they don't have
I
signs.
Didn't sue.
They don't have signs in America. It's some places because then they could get sued, but not having signs, they can't get sued. How crazy is that?
You don't sue for every little thing.
Yeah,
you don't sue unless someone is maliciously and purposely trying to do you harm. And then when you sue with a vengeance, and hell hath no fury.
Yeah. Okay. And you know it's true. Because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. McCory J. Slemons of Davenport, Iowa, was charged with assault while displaying a dangerous weapon and public intoxication. A detective was monitoring an area where officers were looking for a robbery suspect early Wednesday when Slemons approached him and accused the detective of, quote, looking at his wife. Slemons then challenged the detective to a fist fight and pulled out nunchucks.
Oh my goodness! So it's this type of a gentleman.
He so conveniently had in his pocket. The detective arrested Slemons, who later admitted during a police interview that, I was drinking. So, really? You don't say you were drinking when you went up to an officer?
But who goes out with nunchucks? I mean,
don't know.
okay, so my, at the time, 12-year-old brother would run around with nunchucks all the time thinking he was pretty cool.
And he was.
I think he even had some throwing stars. And
I had some of those too.
he just thought he was the
When I was a
coolest.
kid, they sold that stuff at
And
the
he had
fair.
those gloves with the fingers cut off.
I had those too. Your brother and I would have got along so great. Well, we do now too, but I mean, as kids, we'd have been chums. Anyway, this is
But
what
for
happens.
a grown man, who
pretty
still
much.
does that?
I don't know. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Get your moment of duh right here. 73-year-old retired obstetrician Parvis Peter Modaber, I think is how you say his name. Anyway, he's been ordered by a judge to stay out of Clark County, Virginia. 4 different times he's taken garbage from his home over to this township, Charlestown, West Virginia, and threw it out the window.
Oh!
Court records show, this guy is a doctor, by the way. Court records show he's done this at least 4 times. His attorney explained the good doctor held an intense grudge against the state for having suspended his license during the 1980s. Clark County just happened to be near his home, so he's been sentenced 3 different times to a total of 540 hours of picking up litter, but he just got caught again doing it for the 4th time. Less than 6 months.
Might be time to
after
lock
his
this
third-
guy up.
The guy's got issues. I
Yeah.
mean, okay, if you're upset, you're upset. Don't go over there and throw garbage out your window.
Well,
How do you
especially
think?
if, you keep getting punished for
Well,
it.
and how do you think that's going to help?
You're not getting away with
No,
anything.
you're not winning. I'm just pointing that out for you. All right, we've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. Women are more attracted to men who surround themselves with other attractive women.
I have read this.
That's why women hit on me all the time when I'm out with you. And they're like, hey, baby, how you doing?
Yeah, you get hit on
All
the
the time.
time.
Okay, I don't
I've
really.
witnessed it. It's pretty
These-
impressive.
There's always ladies coming over to my table talking to me, asking me things like, what would you like to eat? And would you like another... Would you like another
like a
refill?
refill?
I don't know. The ladies just won't leave me alone. I don't get it. Sometimes even men, which is kind of concerning. Wait a minute. That's not what this study is? Now, a study from Texas Christian University shows the presence of other attractive women give men a halo effect, which confirms that he is suitable dating material and they need to look no further. So there you go.
Well,
Single guys, maybe you should hang out with good-looking women and then you won't be single anymore.
well,
But if you
see,
have
isn't that the thing? If they were already surrounded by good-looking women, would they have to be single?
Yeah, probably not. Apple is going to make it easier than ever to register as an organ donor. Did we talked about this? This app. Yeah, I can skip that because there's an app now to register as an organ donor. How about this one over here? A pair of Pokemon Go players in Connecticut say that the game led them to a church prayer garden where they found a naked woman vandalizing a statue of the Virgin Mary.
Oh, wow.
That story has a lot going on.
There's a whole lot of elements.
There's a lot of stuff
there.
happening in that story.
Our house, apparently, in our front yard is a Pokemon Go spot. I've seen kids
your
stopping.
Mom,
and
was it you? Were you out there with her?
Yeah.
They were in our front yard on Sunday.
Yeah.
And a car, who knows, maybe this has nothing to do with Pokemon Go, but a car stopped. A kid got out in front of her house.
In the middle of the street.
Standing in the street, looking at his phone, and then he was like dancing around and doing something, and then he got back in the car and they left.
Yeah.
Is that how you play Pokemon Go?
I have no
Or is
clue.
this kid just crazy? I have no clue. I've never played the game, so I don't know.
For the benefit of the doubt, I'm assuming
Either
it was
that or this-
Pokemon
yeah.
Go.
Maybe Taylor has a new friend. I don't know. Consumer Reports says that most of the U.S. pork supply is tainted with all sorts of things, including a growth hormone. So that's kind of concerning because I love pork. I eat a lot of pork.
That could be why we're growing.
Yeah, could be. Hey, there are tiny animals with cute faces. They're covered in quills, and they roll into prickly balls when they're scared. The ideal pet? Probably not. Hedgehogs are steadily growing in popularity across the U.S., though, as pets, despite laws in several states banning or restricting them as pets. Breeders say the trend is partly fueled by the fact that hedgehogs require less maintenance than dogs and cats, and because they emit very little odor, in sharp contrast with rodents and rabbits. They're largely hypoallergenic, and they're solitary, making them ideal pets for people with a busy lifestyle. Massachusetts-based hedgehog breeder, that's the thing, Jennifer Crespo says, a hedgehog can hang out all day while you're at work. You can come home and hang out with it for a couple hours, or you can put it away. What? I don't know what that means. So you can play with it, or you can just leave it in its cage.
But how do you
apparently.
play with it if
I
it's
have
covered with
no
quills?
idea.
You'd have to wear protective gloves
Yeah, I'm
and
not
body
sure.
armor. And
I have no clue. Have you ever stubbed your toe or banged your knee on something or whatever, and then you said "ow"?
that's not usually what I say, but
That's usually we can't say what she said. I do it all the time though. I've bumped my shin on our bed and I go "ow," and I say the word "ow" all the time. Never really knew why until I read this story. It says, have you ever wondered why you say the word "ow"? According to a study, being vocal can help you tolerate the pain. Researchers tested how long subjects could keep their hands immersed in really cold water and before they couldn't take it anymore. They found that just by saying "ow, ow, 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 ow" during the experiment helped the subject tolerate the pain longer. So there you go. And I know, like I said, that's not the word that Heidi uses, but I bet that helps too, using the big, long string of words that she uses. So we're not going to go into that. But we will hopefully not have to use the bleep button. We've got Tuesdays with Charlie on the way.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone, we call my father-in-law for a thing we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
How you doing, Charlie?
Hot.
Hot.
Yeah,
It's
right.
been kind of toasty, hasn't it? What do you do to stay cool when it gets hot?
A lot of beer.
I kind of thought so. Well, what kind of
Cold
stuff?
beer.
There you go. What kind of stuff are we going to learn about today, Charlie?
Well, I think we've done this one once before, but it's been a long time ago, so maybe somebody remembers some of it and say, hey, he did that once. But
That's all right.
yeah. NASA, you know what that is.
Yeah.
You know they have a radio station?
NASA does?
NASA or Nassau?
NASA.
NASA? Because Nassau, the Bahamas.
No. the missile people.
Okay, yeah, NASA, yes, okay.
What do they do with their radio station?
They play alternative rock.
Do they really?
Do they?
Yeah. Your competition.
I didn't know that.
Let's blow them up.
Well, they ain't nothing if they don't carry Tuesdays with Charlie.
That's right. We should call them about that.
That's right. They ain't nothing. Get on board, right?
Exactly.
Hey, then, did you know that U.S. cities that have more country music on the radio have a higher suicide rate?
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy.
Well, that's because they're always
It's
talking
depressing.
about the dog they shot and the wife ran away and the house
come
burned down and the still's on fire. And
No, I don't think it's that bad. Come on.
the dog died.
And my dog died.
Hey, then 1959, that's probably before you was born,
Yeah, it is.
radio DJ named Peter Tripp. He kept himself awake for over 200 hours for charity,
Oh.
but he never recovered psychologically.
No kidding.
But 200 hours, that'd be a long time, wouldn't
That's a
it?
very long time without sleep.
So
Without
let's see.
any?
So 48 hours is
Wow.
2 days.
Yeah,
So-
that's
200 hours.
crazy.
4 days would be about 100. So that's like over a week.
Old boy did her.
Yeah, I don't think I'll try to beat him on that one. That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, that don't sound like a good idea at all.
No, I go even crazier than I am now.
Hey, then you know who Stephen King is.
I've
Oh,
heard of
yeah.
that dude. He's an author, yeah.
He owns a classic rock and roll radio station that is #1 in the ratings and one of the few stations still live, 24/7.
Yeah, I knew that. That's
I didn't know that.
It's in Maine. Yeah.
Is that where it's at? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yep, it's in Maine.
I didn't know that.
Well, apparently he's doing something right.
Yeah.
Hey, then in 1972, a radio was designed to sneeze every 6 months in order to protect the microprocessors from dust.
Oh, cool.
So it
How do you
blew
do that?
it blew all the dust out every 6 months?
Every 6 months.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Huh. It's been a while since we've blown the dust out of our radios.
Yeah, absolutely it has.
Well, you got a lot of dust in your radio, too.
I'm sure we do.
Make it sneeze. Hey, then I got one last thing here for you.
What's that?
1996, a man broke into a New Zealand radio station, held the manager hostage, and demand was for the station to play Rainbow Connection by Kermit the Frog nonstop.
I have an alibi for that day,
Yeah,
so
I'll say. I'm pointing at Heidi. She likes that song. Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
I love that song.
I've never heard it.
Are you serious?
Whatever. Yes, you have.
Well, I probably don't pay any attention.
I'm sure you've heard it.
You had to have heard it.
All right. So that's everything you got for us?
That's everything I got.
Well, I got something for you. First of all, I got to ask, are you a fan of the TV show Star Trek?
No.
But you at least know who Spock is, don't you?
Leonard Nimoy.
Pretty close. Leonard Nimoy, yes. Or his cousin Nimroy, or whatever you just said.
Nimrod. There you go. Leonard Nimrod.
So do you know what the thing is, this little Vulcan salute where he holds up his hand and it makes like the V? Have you seen that before?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it on The Big Bang Theory just the other day.
Did they? Oh, they do it on there too? Do you know where that came from? The Vulcan salute from Star Trek. Do you know where that originated?
Not a clue.
Leonard Nimoy is the one that brought that to the show. It's actually a Jewish sign, represents the first letter of Shin, pronounced Sheen, from the word Shalom. And as a boy, he observed his rabbi do this in a benediction. He never forgot it. And when he was on the program, he thought that would be kind of a neat thing to add. But that's actually a Jewish sign.
Yeah.
So it wasn't from the show. It's actually from religion, from hundreds of years ago.
It was like a Jewish handshake or something?
No, it's not a handshake. Just something they did during a benediction. So he saw it, thought it was kind of neat, and when he was on the program, he said, "Hey, what if we do this?" And everybody knows it from Star Trek.
That's cool.
You know what's neater than that?
What's that?
If you do that and drop one finger down,
I think you need to drop 3 fingers down.
well, the two are already off to the side.
If I know what you're getting at, you're close.
That's what I think of that.
Well, Charlie, as always, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. We'll reach out again next week.
I'll be here.
All right. Bye-bye,
Bye,
Charlie.
Dad.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Again, my father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds get better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Almonds are a member of the peach family. I would have never guessed that.
Oh, I guess
almond
that
pit.
makes sense.
Yeah, the almond pit, and then that just
Yeah.
seems... So are we eating like the pit? Is that what that is?
I don't know, but it makes sense because it's the same shape as the...
There you go. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If you add up the numbers 1 through 100 consecutively, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, the total of 1 through 100 is 50-50.
Oh,
It's kind of cool.
interesting.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The man who was the voice of Tony the Tiger is also the voice of the guy who sang "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch."
I knew that.
I can't think of his name right now. It's in my head. Anyway, he's from Nebraska because we used to live in Norfolk, Nebraska, and that's where he's from. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The symbol on the pound key, my generation calls it the number sign. You know what
Yeah?
it's really called?
You've told me, but I cannot remember.
The octotroph. Yeah.
I think we read that. Fun fact.
Hashtag octotroph. No, not
No,
going to work?
probably not.
All right. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Revolvers cannot be fitted for silencers because of all the noisy gases that escape the cylinder when they come out, the back, when the bullet's gone out the front.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
So you can't put a silencer on a
I
revolver.
don't have a revolver.
There you go. Well, you don't want one because you can't get a silencer.
I don't have a silencer.
Oh, well, then you don't need one.
I would
'cause-
like to get my 9mm fitted with a silencer.
And there's another fun fact for you on a Tuesday.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. If you want to increase your chances of getting your wallet or your purse back, if you've ever lost it or stolen it, you know what you're supposed to put in there?
Have you ever lost it or stolen it?
If somebody stole it, I'm sorry. If you've ever lost your purse or had somebody steal it, you know what you're supposed to put in there to have that boomerang back to you?
A hedgehog.
No. What? She's looking to see if we can get a hedgehog, and the answer is no. We talked about how awesome hedgehogs are apparently earlier. No, you're supposed to put in some baby pictures. Yeah.
Oh.
Strangers are more likely to return a lost wallet containing a photo of a cute baby, according to British researchers. Scientists dropped 240 wallets across Edinburgh, England, with photos of either a smiling baby, a puppy, or a happy family, and a contented elderly couple. So they had those 4 options. Turns out nobody cares about your pooch. Nobody cares about your retired parents or your smugly superior family. But that cute little baby somehow triggered a compassionate instinct towards vulnerable infants. When faced with a photograph of a baby, people were far more likely to send the wallet back. In fact, only 1 in 10 were hard-hearted enough to not send it back when there was a cute picture of a baby in there.
Huh.
Now, with no picture to tug at the emotions, just 1 in 7 were sent back.
Wonder what the numbers are if there's a picture of an ugly baby.
I don't know. Why are you looking at putting one of my baby photos in there? Yeah, you need this back. I want to get something for that kid. His head is huge. It's apparently what Charlie Brown looked like as a child. According to Dr. Wiseman, the babies kick off a caring feeling in people, which is not surprising. So there you go. Now, by putting a picture of a cute baby in your wallet, not only will you be the parent of the year for carrying your picture of your kid in your wallet, but also you'll have a good chance of getting that thing back as well. I'm assuming you need to have something in there with your address so they can get it to you as well.
Or your license would be in there.
Yeah, probably. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
if I could just have this, my life would be so much easier.
Well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
Just a bit ago, we talked about a story from England, and guess what? I've got another story from England. It's a lady from England that's suing her government because she hurt her neck on the job. Kinda, sorta. Good to know that we're not the only country filled with people that are knuckleheads.
It's ridiculous.
She says she developed neck pain when she was filling out the required forms for her application
Are you
for a
kidding?
pay raise. The lady claims she spent 11 hours filling out the 7-page form, and it caused her neck severe pain. She's seeking £3,000 in the lawsuit. Here's my first thing I noticed. I ain't no, law school educated attorney or nothing, but take a listen to this. 11 hours for a 7-page form. That's more than an hour per page. What the heck are you filling out?
I really can't believe that form would have been... First of all, why is there a form? Go in and talk to your boss and say...
Maybe things are different there. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she had to fill this out. But 11 hours to fill out a form? And this is a form about you. You should know this.
If you had to think that hard, you probably didn't have a pay raise coming to begin with.
Maybe you don't deserve a pay raise. All right, moving on. We're going to get to a restaurant here and talk about something that's crazy happening in Milwaukee. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Imagine, if you will, you're sitting in a restaurant and you hear an explosion come from the bathroom. That's not a good sign. 2 men from Milwaukee were injured when they tried to flush an explosive device down the toilet and it exploded. Yeah. The device blew up in the ladies' room at Zorba's restaurant, injured 2 men as they attempted to run off. As it exploded, the toilet sent pieces of porcelain shrapnel flying everywhere. The 2 men, who were both hospitalized with injuries, were arrested and charged with endangering safety and criminal damages to the property. Who knows what they were planning on doing? Did you really think that was a good plan, though?
Well, I mean, they clearly thought it would just be funny. I don't think they really thought it through as to how much damage that would cause.
Yeah, going to the hospital with toilet shrapnel stuck in your forehead is never a good thing.
Wow.
But the good news is, at least the only people injured were those 2.
Right.
And sadly, this poor restaurant has to fix their
damage.
ladies' room. So, yeah, that's a bad plan. Coming up, we've got some interesting things on the way. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I think I read this online. I don't know if I talked to you about this or not, but this I thought was really kind of neat. It says he could remember her smile and her hair and the first day they met in the early 1940s. But it took Ralph Dial over 60 years to remember her name. It finally came to him while he was driving during Christmas time in 2002. Then he tracked her down by going through some newspapers from Knoxville, Tennessee. He found her name on a letter to the editor, and he called the Knoxville News Sentinel, and the editorial department contacted Venita Anderson on Dial's behalf. She called him a few minutes later. They only lived 30 miles apart. They were both widowed, so they continued their conversation over dinner, and 4 years later, Dial asked for Anderson's hand in marriage. They married March 17th, 2007, so 9 years ago. That same day that they became engaged 1 year before. So they became engaged on St. Patty's Day and then got married a year later on that day. I think that's just a really neat story. So that, for some reason, popped up on my stuff the other day when I was... And I think I read this a year ago, maybe.
We've read that.
A couple years ago. I just thought that was really, really neat. So I just think it's funny that he remembered everything about her except for her name. So, I'm
Yeah.
like, you look really familiar. I've had that happen, but not with somebody that I was romantically involved with. But I mean, I have that happen all the time where I'll see somebody, I'm like, and I'll ask Heidi, you're the wrong one to ask because you never know.
I
I'm like,
never know people's
I know
names.
him. How do I know him? And you're like, I don't know. I thought you knew him. I'm like, I know him, but I just don't know how. So then we try to play this fun little game of try to figure out, try to say something where we're going to get them to tell me like a clue. And it's really fun to watch Heidi when I know that she has no clue who we're talking to. She's just over there smiling, and then I'll try to throw some hints her way. So be like, have you guys been to the cabin at the lake lately? And Heidi, and then when she gets it, it's like, oh, I know who you are now.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
You have face
not
blindness.
know people.
It's a thing. It really is a thing, and I think you have it. It's called face blindness. I think
And
you
it's
have
not that I'm rude or
No, you're
stuck
not.
up or conceited or
No.
anything. So if
You're
you
one of the
know
nicest
me
people ever.
and you come up and talk to me and I'm very vague and standoffish, it's not
Heidi just
because I'm
wasn't-
being rude. It's because I have no clue who I'm talking
Heidi
to.
just wasn't herself today. I wasn't with her. I'm like her seeing eye dog. I come along to tell her, that's our neighbor, Heidi. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I think this is a really cool story. We always try to end things around here with a good story.
Yeah.
And I think this story, I don't know, I think it's good news. I think it's really, really a testament to who this young lady is. Courtney Baker says it took more than a year for her to get the courage to write this letter. She'd been wanting to write this letter for over a year, and she finally had the chance to do it. She was thinking about writing this letter while she was still pregnant with her daughter. Her daughter, Emerson Faith, was born with Down syndrome. The Sanford, Florida mom, with the help of her now 15-month-old daughter, finally dropped the letter in the mail at the end of May to a doctor who she said delivered her daughter's prenatal diagnosis of Down syndrome. And when the doctor told her that your daughter is going to be born with Down syndrome, the doctor encouraged her to terminate the pregnancy.
Okay.
And she said, no, I'm not going to do that. After she refused, she said, I was continually pressured by this doctor, and she chose to just finally say, I'm going to a different doctor.
Right.
So
Good
she
for
moved
her.
on to somebody else. And she said in the story, I have no idea how the doctor might have reacted to my letter, but I do have faith that God can work miracles and he can change any heart. So, and she's extremely happy that she kept her baby girl, 15 months old,
Does
Emerson
it say what
Faith.
the letter said?
Just a letter to let her know that I made the right decision and that I really think that you should quit telling people that. You know? And how sad is that?
Yeah.
So again, Courtney Baker, she's a mother from Sanford, Florida, that had a chance to write a letter to a doctor who, and her daughter was a part of this too. She's 15 months old now. They put this letter in the mail together and sent it off saying, you know what, we chose life, and you should be careful of encouraging people to do that. So
Yep, that's wonderful.
it is. It's a really neat story. I've got a link at our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. That's the second story within a week that has come across my desk. People are sharing things with me now. So I'm like, well, thanks for sharing it. I'll share that as well. So if you do want to share a story, you can share it right through our Facebook page. Again, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks again for listening, and have a wonderful Tuesday.